I've always been horrified by what has happened. I've always been devastated by the fact.
This is how he opens, by centering the loss of the children's mother. That framing matters. In sentencing hearings, judges listen closely to whether the speaker acknowledges harm beyond themselves. But here's the tension. Is this accountability or positioning? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
My children no longer have a mother. I have pushed back from the very beginning with my frustrations about the why and against the misinformation about myself, Caitlin, our lives, and my families. I've always acknowledged, first and foremost, I took a life. And just as I said in my testimony, that life was important to me, important to our children, important to our family, important to everyone here. When I started crying, that was not planned or expected. Margaret even changed her direct because of it. That was genuine.
This is a pivotal emotional turn. He's describing a mental health collapse, a suicide attempt, and a religious conversion, all before sentencing. Courts often see this as mitigation, but viewers should ask, where's the line between genuine remorse and narrative strategy? Because timing is everything.
I could not fathom that this had happened. I wept uncontrollably almost every waking minute for months after this tragedy. That led to me writing a death note and attempting to kill myself. By what can only be described as divine intervention, I am still here. And that is what led me to Pastor Dustin and me coming to truly know Jesus Christ. I've poured my heart and soul out to him. I've spoken truthfully and with honor. Although I still wrestle with him in some areas, I am at peace. When I talked to Caitlin asking if she wanted to stay at my home while she was here, she said no. She referenced trauma from her childhood and not wanting to feel trapped in an unknown place. She said, no one benefits from me being debilitatingly anxious.
This is one of the strongest admissions so far. I failed. Judges listen for this phrase. Not excuses, not deflection. Acknowledgement of responsibility, especially when paired with past choices, not just one night. This is a moment that can genuinely influence sentencing weight.
I knew that. I knew her struggles. God knows I had plenty of them myself. We tried to work through them together. I tried asking others for help, but the ultimate responsibility lies with me. Even though we were never married.
Addressing the victim's family directly is emotionally risky, but legally significant. Courts value empathy, but it must be careful not to appear performative. This section humanizes the victims beyond the case file, and that carries real emotional gravity in the room.
Our children created a bond, a forever bond between us, a sacred bond. I had a responsibility to her, and my choices made long before that night led to this. I had obligations to her that I did not meet. I failed. My pastor mentioned how I've been praying for Caitlin's family, and that was true even before I met him. Specifically for you, Lori, I have empathy for you. What I've witnessed from you is that of a loving mother and grandmother, someone who, even when pushed away, never gave up. I still vividly remember us all trick-or-treating around your house just 2 years ago. I remember all of us together on Christmas Eve, not even 2 years ago. I know this to be true. There is no greater pain in this world than that of losing a child. I grieve for you. I grieve with you. I'm sorry. To also point out, Tim, your last words, I can imagine the difficulty you had. It is no small thing, and I thank you. Your words are inspirational, and I do honestly mean that. I will not let Caitlin be forgotten. I never spoke ill of Caitlin to our daughters. I always wanted Caitlin involved in our children's lives. I have so many incredible memories with her. When she was pregnant.
This section pivots hard, from grief to future purpose. Notice a shift. Children, legacy, devotion. Judges often look at future risk versus future rehabilitation. The question becomes, does a court believe this future is realistic or aspirational?
With Ellen, I took her to my favorite place, Yosemite. My fondest moment was waking up to our campsite surrounded by deer, watching us and grazing before slowly trotting away. Then a few months later, Caitlin took me to Chicago, including visiting the beautiful botanical gardens and Six Flags, where Ellen got to ride a little roller coaster before she was even born. In Nevada, there was a beautiful oasis a few miles from our house with man-made lakes, horses, and dozens of peacocks freely roaming. We went there regularly and was a family routine I wish never ended. That was also where Ellen and Valen got to pet and ride their first horse. And Ellen and Valen, my life, my purpose, my everything. I envisioned great things for both of you, and I still do. Know that my love for both of you is infinite. Above all else, stick together, protect and love each other unconditionally. I will be there for you no matter what. Even when separated by distance, we're never separated by heart. To all my friends and family who have supported me and continue to do so, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm truly blessed, and to each one of you, you'll never be forgotten. I ask, Your Honor, that you minimize my limitations as much as you are able, alongside allowing me to cultivate a life with my daughters and be the strong, positive influence I was always meant to be. I do not ask this for selfish reasons, but so that I may humbly serve God, country, family in full. Thank you.
Judge, as we conclude, I'd like to mention one United States Supreme Court case that highlights that the court ought to afford Mr. Duren's military service and his service-connected PTSD great weight when considering sentence. It's a 2009 case, Porter versus McCollum, 558 U.S. 30. In that case, the defendant, who was charged with multiple counts of murder and was facing the death penalty, was a military veteran who served in Korea and who struggled to regain normality upon his return from war.
Now we're fully in legal territory. The defense is invoking Porter v. McCollum, a Supreme Court case that mandates real consideration of military service and PTSD during sentencing. This isn't just emotional, it's precedent. And precedent can outweigh sentiment.
Likewise, in this case, Mr. Duren is a military veteran who served in Iraq and who bears the wounds of that service and who struggled to regain normality upon his return from war. The court in Porter found that Mr. Porter's defense counsel was ineffective in failing to present mitigation evidence related to his military service and the effects that his service had on him, because that mitigation evidence would have and should have made a difference in imposing sentence. The United States Supreme Court explained, and I quote, "Our nation has a long tradition of according leniency to veterans in recognition of their service, especially for those who fought on the front lines, as Porter did. Moreover, the relevance of Porter's extensive combat experience is not only that he served honorably under extreme hardship and gruesome conditions, but also that the jury might find mitigating the intense stress and mental and emotional toll that combat took on Porter. And this court ought to uphold our nation's long tradition of according leniency to veterans in recognition of their service when imposing a sentence in this case. And the court should also find mitigating the intense stress and emotional toll that Mr. Duren's service took on him, as documented by his VA disability rating, the attached reports, and what you've heard and read today. In consideration of all the facts and circumstances of this case, in recognition of Mr. Duren's service and the permanent toll that his service took on him, we ask that the court adopt our sentencing recommendation and impose a sentence of 25 years to life in the state prison.
Thank you. Anything further from the state at this point?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Thank you. The council have given me a lot to think about, and I've been thinking about it nonstop the entire day, including before today. I will take a few moments, take a few brief recess, review my notes, review a few things that I want to check, and I'll be back to issue sentence and a few comments before I issue sentence. Thank you.